Guys, listen. You probably wondering why I'm so happy right now. As I'm doing this video, Victor Wembanyama is playing. Yes, I'm missing the first minutes of basketball of Victor Wembanyama, and I gotta get back to that. I gotta get to that game. But when certain things happen in the NBA and the summer league right now is what we have, you gotta come out with raw reaction. I felt that this was a moment that was so special and that was so urgent that I couldn't wait till tomorrow. I was gonna drop this video tomorrow. I said no, we're not gonna do it like that. I just saw something that was so special. And Jabari Smith has stole the show from Amen Thompson. He stole the show from Scoot Henderson. And I want to talk about him as well. But let's get those guys out of the way because those are the big time stars. That's who a lot of people came to see. Also, shout out to Taj Eason, had a very big game. But he's a second year guy. We know he can hoop. Amen Thompson. Watch him on the basketball court, a straight floor general. Now, we know with him coming in, the jump shot is the thing that a lot of people want to see as the developmental part of his game. But right now, he's a great passer. And there's certain guys, when you watch the game and you watch basketball, you say feel. And what is feel? What is a floor general? What is having that IQ and anticipation in the game of basketball? That's one play I want to talk about. He's driving the basketball, and he's driving on the baseline. And then he has this guy, he has the big man right there. He drives to the baseline. He's seeing the guy, the help defense comes. He whips it around his guy, and now he's passing that into the pocket for a layup. There was so many plays, and there was also a occurrence that happened where he got a pass, and then he got into an and one situation. Scoot Henderson, he comes back down, he gets into an and one situation. So we saw fire versus fire all night, and these are two young basketball teams that have young talent. We talk about a Shaedon Sharpe, another lottery pick who had a solid game. He came out shooting the basketball like no other, showing us that he's building that confidence. A very interesting guy that I'm wanting to see with Anthony, Scoot, and also Shaedon Sharpe. So we know the Damian Lillard situation. This is not that video to talk about that. But with that saying, we have the young talent. We have those guys. And looking at the stats right here to quickly chart that off, Shaedon Sharpe now wasn't extremely efficient from the field, 7-21, 3-9 from the three, but early on in that first half, he had it going. So it was warranted why he got up so many shots, and we just want to see him get more efficient, but that's going to come with more practice, more time, more games. So also looking at the stats, we had Scoot Henderson, 5-13, and I think the biggest thing for me was watching him. He's another guy. Now, he's not the passer that Amen Thompson is. He's a great passer, but I think Amen Thompson can be a very special passer. When I say special passer, I'm talking about a Luka Doncic. I'm talking about a Trae Young. I'm talking about some of these guys who really dish the basketball. So watching him doing that, but Scoot Henderson had a great game of his own, getting to the rim, and they both get to the rim, but it looks kind of different. When Amen Thompson gets to the rim, he had two left-hand layups that were kind of just really freakish. He's really creative at the rim, getting those layups up. Scoot Henderson, both extremely athletic guys, but he got to the rim as well. Kind of a lot of things that we saw from him, getting the feel and getting into that mid-range. He got up on a mid-range against Amen Thompson, and then he got into another one in a pick and roll scenario. So I just look at all of this. I look at the two young guys. I look at the two guys. They both had good games. Now, Scoot Henderson, I want to note and let you guys know, was out that second half with a shoulder injury. So I don't know to the extent of what that shoulder injury is and what it's going to be, but I don't think it's nothing major. If he has to sit out some summer league games, we'll deal with that down the road instead of having something else happen. But overall, I mean, this was everything it was advertised to be. Number 3 pick versus the number 4 pick. 2 point guards, and I think the league is in very great hands. So I wanted to touch on those guys. Scoot having 15 points, had 6 assists, 5 rebounds, pushing the pace. And the thing about them, the last thing I want to note, while they're extremely athletic, they know when to stop and go. They know when to cut it on and cut it off. So these guys, they're coming down the court, they're pushing the pace, they're slight in their tempo. But then when they see a cut to the lane, when they see a play to the basket to make that play, then they're cutting it on. Then you see that elite burst. Then you see the elite speed. So it's just that change of direction and that change of tempo and space that really showed me these two guys are playing like they've been here before. Like they've played NBA basketball before. And with Scoot Henderson, a guy who's played in the G League with the Ignite, Amen Thompson, who's played with OT basketball, I love what I saw from both of these guys. But the topic of this video, you wondering why you're here right now, that's Jabari Smith Jr. 8 for 18, 44% from the field, 3 of 8 from a 3, 37.5%, 33 points And in the first half, a lot of people were talking about him, with these two guys. And I think outside of men, Scoot and Shaden Sharp, I think he was the guy who was getting a lot of the talk from the commentators. They were talking about him and, didn't have the rookie season that we expected, being that high of a pick coming from Auburn. And he had some things to work on offensively. Now, we know the biggest thing with him coming out of college was shooting a three and being an all defensive caliber type player. So now I think tonight he showed some of that defense. He put that on display, and he showed us the free throw shooting, 14 of 17 from the line, extremely efficient. And really the biggest thing for me was in them big moments. Now, he just hit a game winner. You see, when I started the video, I was kind of out of sorts and kind of herky-jerky when I got into this thing, but he hit that game winner, and that it may not mean nothing right now, but I think that him getting this confidence, because last year I didn't see confidence. I didn't see the guy that I saw at Auburn who could go get you a bucket. Playing in that system with Jalen Green, you got Alperen Sengun, you had Kevin Porter Jr. You got a lot of passes and a lot of touches before you get to the basketball. So we have to deal with that as a rookie, and we know that the identity and the culture wasn't really set there. But now you got Dylan Brooks, now you got a Jeff Green, now you got a Fred VanVleet, Ime Udoka, all of these guys to pair with this young talent, Cam Whitmore, Amin Thompson, Tyree Eason, all of these guys that I look at, and I think Jabari Smith just had one of those nights. He stepped up, and as we look at picks, as far as, first, second, third overall, he should be the best player out of this group. That's saying out of the picks. I really love Amin Thompson. I'm not saying he's going to be better down the road, but if we look at the picks and the range in which they were selected, Jabari Smith should be the best player on this Summer League team. Tonight, he showed me that. In the pairing of him with Amin Thompson, he's going to get him his touches. He's going to get everybody the basketball. Jalen Green, he's going to be unlocked. Now, we got Fred VanVleet, and it's going to be so interesting because I want to see Amin Thompson get as much playing time and as much development as he can. I mean, tonight, seeing it, recent. I saw the OTE basketball, watched the scouting reports, but I saw it live. I saw it recent with my eyes tonight, and that was a different feel of the game. So that was really what I had. But Jabari Smith, working on himself now. He hasn't built, he hasn't bulked up in his frame. He's still kind of that slender guy, but that's okay. That's okay with what he's going to do and what he brings to the team. Getting efficient from the three-point line. Last year wasn't as efficient as we saw at Auburn, and, having that beautiful jump shot with the mechanics. We want to see consistency and improving that in year two. I think he's on pace to do that. I think tonight he showed us the defense. Tonight we saw it all. He was driving off of the wing, guys closing out, getting to the rim. We saw the Jabari Smith, which we took very, very high in that draft last year. This is a team to watch out for. Very young team, not saying they have any championship or deep playoff implications, but I saw some things tonight. Jabari Smith stepped up. He stole the show from Amin Thompson, Scoot Henderson. What do you think about tonight's game?